Did you know the average person thinks of 6 to 7 business ideas in their life? And maybe you've already thought of one too, just sitting in your notes app right now, waiting for someday. But here's the thing. Most people never actually do anything with those ideas. Not because the ideas are bad. They aren't. It's just that people get stuck. Like, where do you even start? Do you make a website first? Try to find a partner? Do you need a logo? Do you quit your job? It's like your brain opens 50 tabs at once and none of them work. So you just kind of do nothing. That's where the lean startup comes in. It's a really helpful way to actually start, even if you've never done this before. In this video, I'm breaking it all down for you step by step. So by the end, you'll know exactly how to take your idea, no matter how small or not ready it feels, and start turning it into a real business. First, let's talk about why 90% of startups fail. And trust me, it's not because the owners were lazy or had bad ideas. Most startups fail because they follow a plan that sounds smart, but is completely backward. Here's what usually happens. Someone gets excited about an idea. They write a long, fancy business plan, get some money, hire people, build the product, launch it, and then wait and keep waiting. Meanwhile, nothing's happening. No users, no growth, no real feedback, just a bunch of hopeful thinking. And the worst part, they've already spent years building something that nobody wanted in the first place. That's the old school way of doing startups, and it's broken. Building the product is not the hard part anymore. With tools like Shopify, Notion, Webflow, AI, you can build things fast. The real challenge is building the right thing, and that's exactly where the lean startup comes in. Start with a minimum viable product. So here's where we start building, but not in the way most people think. See, this is the part where most new founders mess up. They get an idea and they disappear into a cave for 6 months, coding like mad scientists, designing the logo, making the perfect app, talking to no one, and then they launch it, and it fails. Now, what if I told you you're not supposed to build the whole product right away? In fact, you shouldn't. You need to start with something way simpler, your minimum viable product or MVP. Let me give you an example. You know, Dropbox, right? It looks super polished now. But when they started, they didn't build a single line of code. Instead, they made a short demo video just showing how Dropbox would work if it existed. That's it, a simple video. And guess what? People watched it, loved the idea, and signed up for the waiting list. Here's another one, Zappos. You know the giant online shoe store? Their founder, Nick Swinmurn, didn't build a massive inventory system or fancy website. He just went to local shoe stores, took photos of the shoes, and listed them online. If someone bought a pair, he'd run to the store, buy it full price, and ship it himself. So what can you do? Seriously, ask yourself right now, what's the simplest version of the idea I can test this week? Not next year or after you learn to code? Could you make a landing page with a sign-up button that doesn't actually lead anywhere just to see if people click? Could you post a sketch of your product on Instagram and ask, would you buy this? Could you fake the back end with Google Sheets just to get a few test users? Because here's the thing, an MVP isn't about launching, it's about learning. You don't need a final product. You just need a signal, a reaction, a yes or a no. That tiny signal tells you if you're on the right track before you waste months and money building something no one wants. So don't build a castle, build a tent, set it up fast, see who walks in and listen to what they say. And once they're inside, that's when we move to the next step, figuring out exactly how to measure what's working and what's not. We'll get to that in a second. But first, what's your MVP idea? Drop it in the comments. The build, measure, learn loop. Awesome. You've set up your tent, your MVP, you've put it out into the world. Now what? Here's where most people panic. They either stare at their product waiting for some kind of magic, or they obsess over making it better, without actually knowing what better means. This is where the build, measure, learn loop comes in. And this right here, this is the heartbeat of the lean startup method. You build something small, you measure how people use it, you learn from it, then repeat. Sounds obvious, right? But here's the catch. Most people skip the measure and learn part. They just build. Like a chef cooking meal after meal, never letting anyone taste it. Imagine you're baking cookies. You whip up this wild chocolate chili lavender combo and you think it's genius. You hand it to your friend, and they take one bite and did not like it. Instead of making 100 more chili cookies, you ask, what didn't you like? They say it was too spicy. So you dial back the chili. That's build, measure, learn. Now apply that to your business. Dropbox measured views and signups. Buffer tested pricing before building anything. Airbnb learned that better photos increased trust in bookings, so the founders grabbed a camera and fixed the real problem. Once your MVP works, it's time to validate your assumptions. Not just did it sell, but why did it sell? Was it the price, the design, the trust? Talk to people. Observe behavior. Feedback isn't a compliment, it's a map. And if the map tells you you're heading the wrong way, you pivot. Pivoting isn't quitting, it's adjusting. Twitter started as a podcast platform. Instagram started as a messy app with too many features. Both cut what didn't matter and doubled down on what users loved. Then comes metrics. Not vanity metrics like likes and followers, but actionable ones. Conversion rate, retention, cost per acquisition, churn. These numbers tell you if you have a real business or just noise. Ask yourself, can I make a decision from this number? If yes, track it. If not, ignore it. So let's wrap this up. Start with an MVP. Build small. Test fast. Learn honestly. Validate your assumptions. Pivot when needed. Track what actually matters. You don't need a perfect idea. You need momentum. If this video helped, hit the like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and drop your MVP idea in the comments. I want to see what you're building. See you in the next one.